Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Douglas Hartman with Airbrush Artistry. I want to give you a little update on Mr. Goblin dude here. I know it's been about maybe a little over a week since I've posted a video, so I know I've been slacking. But anyway, since the last video, did a little more work on his one ear over here, adjusted the color a little bit. Did a little bit more work on the ear over here. I still have to go in with this bruising color and add on his ear there, and I was able to get in his dome, forehead and whatnot. Again, using the exact same techniques that I have throughout the rest of it, is using torn pieces of paper, thicker paper, cardstock paper, to help create sharper lines. And the creases in his forehead, and then going back in with a texture stencil over each area, and then up in this area here on the top of his head, I didn't use any stencils, but what I did was I just moved the airbrush. I wanted the texture to be a little bit more linear in nature, and so it was just moving the airbrush in linear motions to create more texture there. So next up is going to be doing his hair. He's going to have somewhat of a, for lack of a better term, a mohawk, I guess, a little bit, and have a little bit of hair coming down, and then, tufts of hair coming out of his ears. Over here it's going to be kind of matted a little bit, maybe caked with some blood and stuff, and dried blood, and we'll see what we can do there. And then after that, it's going to be just, I'm going to give him just some basic, like a leather tunic or leather, armor, coming out, and a very just nondescript background. And so I'm also thinking about my next piece that I want to do. And I've strictly used my Iwata Takumi custom micron on this piece. And I thought it would be a good idea on the next piece to use my H&S Evolution, probably the Solo that I have, with the 0.15 millimeter needle and nozzle setup, and to do a direct comparison, to do a full piece with that airbrush solely, and to see how it compares to the Takumi. It's one thing to take them out of a box and just do some, lines on a piece of paper with them and dots, and show how they can, atomize the paint and whatnot. But it's a completely different scenario when you're actually doing a full-length painting with them, and you just get a better full review, I guess, for lack of a better term, of how they actually can compare to each other, and a more honest review. So, a while back, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, is when I bought my first H&S Evolution CR Plus, and that was my my main detail airbrush that I had, and then it kind of became my main airbrush that I had. And it wasn't until fairly recently that I got the Iwata Takumi, the HP and the HPC Plus, and I also picked up the H&S Evolution Solo, and so I think it would be a good idea to do that as a direct comparison. But so now I just gotta, and I'm gonna do it on the exact same, the paper and everything, just to keep it fair. Same types of paint, the Createx illustration colors. Same distilled water as a reducer, and using the same techniques. Now I just got to figure out what do I want to paint, and so I'll be thinking about that, and probably I'll probably try to keep it some type of humanoid, but I'm not sure. At the same time, it's like, man, it's been a while. It's been a minute since I've done like some type of skull or something. So maybe I'll do a lich or something like that, and which would be really fun. Because there's a lot of the thing I love about skulls is all the texture that you can get in a skull, and that actually may be a really good idea. Or another creature that I like, and it's in one of the old D&D books that I have, the original Fiend Folio. There was a monster called the Eye of Fear and Flame, and essentially it was a robed skeleton figure that in one eye had a black gem in it. One eye socket had a black gem in it, and the other eye socket had a red gem in it. And if I'm not mistaken, if Fear and Flame is, I don't know if the red gem, if he casted a fireball out of that gem socket or some type of obviously some type of fire magic. And the other one, well, it's, if I'm not mistaken, as the name says, it's some type of like a fear ray or something like that. Or I might do a lich, but actually that would be that'd be interesting how to do the gems and the eye sockets for the Eye of Fear and Flame. But anyway, I've been thinking about that, and then thinking about as far as I really want to start using canvases with that have some extra gesso on them to get a nice smooth finish, so it's easier to bring out the real bright highlights and stuff. So I will film and make a video definitely when I'm painting this guy's hair, because I know some people, especially beginners, it can be, you think about painting hair and it can be kind of a little on the daunting side. But the reality is if you think about it, how our eyes perceive hair when we're looking at somebody, it's really just all the same thing with this guy here. It's just all a matter of the the darks, the shadow areas, the highlights and the midtones, and how you apply those to create the shapes and forms through value changes. It's the exact same thing, and it'll be just switching up the as far as bringing out the highlights. I'm not going to use a electric eraser. I'll be using more of the X-Acto blades and maybe like an old airbrush needle and stuff like that, and then glazing in and creating the highlights and the shadows and how the different clumps of hairs go into each other and stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be a good video. It'll be interesting, and but I appreciate you guys sticking around. I appreciate all of my subscribers that I have. I appreciate all the comments that you guys leave, and if you guys sharing my videos and stuff. And I just I encourage you to get out there and do some painting. Like me, I need to it's been a hot minute. We had the grandkids this weekend, and so I think it was Thursday and Friday that I worked on his forehead and the rest of his scalp and stuff area, and I did other work on his ears and stuff. But I need to kind of step it up a little bit and get back to where I was. But at the same time, I don't want to post 10 videos of me painting the same character. That can get a little boring. So I'll just I'm still new at this whole YouTube thing, and just trying to give it a go here. But I appreciate you guys, like I said, sticking around and putting up with me. And if anything, I hope if I'm able to even if it's just one person, teach them one person a different technique, how to improve your airbrushing skills. It's a bonus. We all start somewhere, and the techniques that I've used on this guy here really are simple, you know. Everything from the very beginning of doing the grid on the paper and the grid on my reference image, and getting it, you know, loosely drawn in, and then to using, you know, the cardstock ripped pieces of paper for shields to help create the, you know, the harder, sharper lines and the wrinkles and stuff like that, to using a texture stencil. Even if you don't have, you know, these, you know, pre-bought, you know, stencils like this, you know, you could also use stuff like this. This is an old dryer sheet, you know, and you can see the texture in it that you would leave if you put this, you know, across your subject matter there and spray the airbrush through it. It can leave some really nice texture. You can even take a, you know, a piece of cardstock and poke holes in it, and, you know, little, you know, rips in it and stuff like that, and to make, you know, texture, and then using a stick eraser to bring out the highlights, and you know, keeping being mindful of, you know, where is your light source coming from, to make sure, you know, your values are correct across the whole piece, you know, not just areas. But like I said, you know, in this guy here, the light source is coming down above, you know, above center and over, you know, to the right a little bit. And so I need to, you know, keep in mind, you know, everything over here on this side needs to be a little bit lighter in value when you compare it to everything, the same thing on this side of his face. And that's one of the things, the last things that I'll do before I put some type of varnish on this to protect it, you know, is, you know, give myself a few days, give it a week after I'm done painting, and going in and looking at and really studying, you know, and making sure that I've got my values across the whole board correct. You know, because once you put the final coat of varnish on there, you know, you don't want to stand back and look at it and see a glaring mistake that you've done or something like that. You know, it's always best to give yourself some time and don't be in a rush. You know, but what I'm going to do is we're gonna have the earthquake moment here when I take my phone off the mount here and kind of get up close and personal into this guy, get a better idea of some of the details and stuff. But yeah. I've had a lot of fun doing this guy. You know, all right. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this whole process and the different techniques, you know, that I've learned. And if you haven't already, check out this YouTube page. It's called The Art Station, and that's, you know, where I learned a lot of the techniques that I use. He is an excellent airbrush artist, and you can learn a whole lot from that guy. And he was one of the reasons why I got back into airbrushing after a year of not doing anything. I love watching. Trust me, I love watching the videos. But it's like, man, I need to be down in my basement and painting instead of, you know, just watching. And so he was one of the guys that encouraged me to get back at it and stuff. And the different techniques that he used were inspiring, you know, for me to get off my butt and to get at it. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I look forward to different comments you guys have. And if you have any, if I got any other, D&D geeks out there that are following me, any suggestions for what, I should paint next. And so anyway, have a good night, you guys. Take care. Bye.